Okay, I just put the final 2 coats of primer on this hood after I wet sanded the epoxy back with 400 grit. So everything is laid down pretty nice, and this should be ready. I'm going to let it sit for several days, and then I'll wet sand it 400 and then 600 before it's painted, which won't be for a while yet, but my main concern is that it's ready prior to painting, and I think it's going to be. I'm not seeing anything jump out at me right now. But when I wet sand it with 400 and 600, I've got a can of, it's called Perfect Panel Check fluid from Eastwood, and you spray it down with the fluid and let it sit, and you can look at it under a light, which I'll use this Eastwood. I've had this, it's like a trouble light. I've had this thing for a long time, but anyway, I'll use it to look at the panel, because the idea is that when you wave the light over it, if you see any distortion in the light anywhere on the panel, then that tells you that there's a problem there. Because even though this might look pretty good, you won't know it until it's painted what it actually looks like. That's just the way things go. But it looks pretty good. So at this point, I think we're probably there. Got some 400 grit on this 3M 8-inch block. Attention all planets of the Solar Federation. Attention all planets of the Solar Federation. We have assumed control. We have assumed control. We have assumed control. Block sanded wet with 400 on the whole hood. So now what I'm going to use is my DA sander. Or not DA sander, it's a random orbit actually. It's made by 3M. It's got this backing pad on there, and I've got some 500 Abralon. And I was gonna wet sand with some 600 paper, but I don't have any, and I happen to have this, so this will actually make quicker work anyway. I know the panel is basically where it needs to be so far, and so now I'm gonna do this sanding with the 500 Abralon, and then check it with the panel check fluid.
You can count on it. Guaranteed pay, fast, efficient service, and
Alright, so what I'm doing now is I'm going to get these style lines where there's curvature to the panel here, and these Abralon pads are really good at that because they're flexible without, changing the shape or burning into the paint. So you just come along there and make sure that's nice and sanded. Moment of truth. So now I'm going to use this Perfect Panel Check fluid by Eastwood. Spray it on there, let it level out for about 5 minutes, and then you can check over the panel. Hey, definitely ain't no 5 minutes because stuff dries too quick. But anyway, see what we got. See, those are dry spots already. Trying to move fast here before it dries up. Could have done this with water just about, but anyway, it's a nice idea. Of course, it is pretty hot out, so maybe that's why it's drying so fast. It's looking good. I'm not seeing any distortion in the light. Come across that, it's a dry spot obviously, but this is where I was mainly concerned because the hood was actually damaged right along this plane right here when it hit the back of the windshield, when it flipped up going down the road about 40 miles an hour. And it looks like I've got it taken care of. So I'll spray it down one more time and see what we got. Okay, I sprayed it down again. Let's see what we got. So starting back here. Yeah, it's looking good. Looking good, man. Yeah. The stuff works. I guess the point is, like, if you put water on here, the water might be kind of wavy on where this stuff lays down level. So that's kind of the glory of it, I guess. But it dries pretty quickly, but again, it's hot outside, so that's probably why. That's looking good, man. You see the reflection of something there. Well, oh, it's the lights up on the ceiling. No, that's the garage door. Yeah. All right. So I think this panel's ready. Here's what I'm talking about with just water. If you pour just water on there, I'm gonna smooth it out with my hand. And you can get a good idea, but you can see where the water is itself creating a slight distortion. So, get my light on here again. Well, there it is. So you can see just where the water is not laying down completely flat. You can't really get a good picture of what's going on. Maybe it'll flatten out enough. See, it'll dry in spots. So that stuff is worth, I guess, what they charge for it. I think it was like $10 a can. So one can should do the whole vehicle. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, you can see the reflection of the garage door right there. Hey, Toro. Hey, pup. He's a good boy. Yeah, he's my little buddy. My body work buddy. You good, pup? Yeah, you're good, pup. Okay, get ready to block sand these doors now. I think they're ready, but we're going to find out. So I'm starting with the 8-inch block with some 400 grit on it. Okay, so everything's looking pretty good with the 400 grit, so I'm going to hit it with the 500 Averlon with my random orbit standard now. Just like I did the hood. Okay, as mentioned on the hood, on the style lines right here, like on this door, we've got this line that goes around here. There's a little bit of a radius to it, so I've got to be able to get in there and get that without taking the primer off of it. So I can carefully do it with this Averlon pad without distorting the shape. Okay, this is sanded to 500 grit with the Averlon, and you can see that there's no area that's not touched by it. So now I'm going to spray on this perfect panel check fluid like I did on the hood and see what we have. Okay, and here's what we got. So you can see fluorescent lights from above reflecting. That's a good sign. They're straight. And this one here, it's looking good. This door is significantly flatter than it used to be. When I first got the Jeep, it was terrible. This is possibly even flatter than it was when it was brand new. I spent an enormous amount of time on these doors, so it ought to look pretty good. All right, I think that's gonna do it on this one. So, and then I also decided to glaze those screw holes. There's 2 screw holes there and one here that holds the hinge on. And I decided to go ahead and glaze those and just smooth everything. I like that look. Yeah, this is looking incredible. I'm real happy with the way it's coming out here. So this is ready for paint, and I'll do that to the next door and basically set these panels aside, the doors and the hood, they're ready. Okay, this one's looking good as well. That little piece of hair or something right there. That light is straight. Let's see what we got. Of course, that's the bend of, the body line there, style line, whatever. Yeah, this one's ready too, I believe. Not seeing anything jump out at me here. You can tell the reflection of the overhead lights there, nice and straight as I move across. All right, moving on. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode of Woodshop Wednesdays. And I'm going to do that other door and put those aside, like I said, and be on to pulling the Jeep back in the garage and doing some final finesse work on the tub and some other miscellaneous things. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.